And welcome back to another episode of Inside Richmond Real Estate. I am Danae Dobler with the Lemus Group, and this is Kaitlin Price. We are here today to dive into the question that everybody's thinking about, whether it is better to be a buyer or a seller in Richmond's market.
That's right. So we've had some interesting shifts in the market, and everyone's wondering who has the upper hand, whether that's buyers or sellers. And today we're going to go over a few strategies for both sides. And
yeah. So before we jump in, we're just going to go over like where the market's at, what are the interest rates, what are kind of like the home median prices. So right now, if you're looking at like a FHA or a VA, you're going to be anywhere from like 5.65 to 5.8, which is really good. We're in the fives. If you're looking at a conventional or jumbo, we are going to be closer to like 6.58 up to like 6.7, just depending. As far as the average home prices, I think we're still riding strong between 350 and 400, depending on the area. All right, Kaitlin, quick gatekeeping. Tell us who has the upper hand, buyers or sellers.
great question today. So I'll just tell you a little bit about what's going on. So we're still seeing homes still in the market for about a month. Inventory is still low, but appreciation is still increasing year after year. Now, I have a question for you. Why do you think that we are a month on the market, but we also still have low inventory?
So we have an interesting dynamic going on right now where I feel like the media has kind of come into play. For a long time, the media was saying that interest rates were really high, and so it scared a lot of buyers away. And so now with school starting up and stuff, just with the normal seasonality of things, things kind of slow back down. But what I really want to get the word out for is that a year or two ago, we were saying that the interest rates would not go back into the fives, and we are back in the fives. So I think that, buyers are still kind of scared or hesitant. But what's good about the market right now is that because houses are staying on the market for 30 days, sellers still have the motivation and the desire to kind of help buyers out. So we are seeing more closing costs being offered. We are seeing even the lenders are still not quite caught up to the fact that the interest rate has gone down. Obviously, they're aware of that, but the buyers have not fully processed that, so the lenders still have to do something about it. The lenders are still offering grants. I know that there's grants anywhere from like $10,000 up to $30,000. I can't remember exactly what the $30,000 one was for. Do you remember?
No.
Yes, you do, girl.
Oh, first generation home buyers.
I'm giving you a pitch back.
Yeah, first generation home buyers.
Quick gatekeeping. Tell us who has the upper hand, buyers or sellers?
So I'll tell you that we're seeing homes on the market for about a month, and we still have super low inventory. So what do you think about that?
So I can only assume that it has to do with that buyers are still kind of scared to come out into the market, because with the interest rates, like I mentioned earlier, being in the fives, and obviously, some conventionals being in the sixes, it still is way lower than it has been. So I feel like buyers just aren't aware of what is going on in the market for them. So that's what I kind of wanted to focus on, is the fact that buyers, there are still grants out there that range anywhere from $10,000 up to $30,000, just depending on kind of what you qualify for. And you don't have to be a first-time home buyer to get these grants. You can be the first generation buyer, like somebody who nobody in your family has ever bought a house. You can be obviously first-time home buyer. You take a little class and you get that grant. And then on top of it, because the houses are staying on the market for like a month or so, sellers are still kind of panicking and being like, okay, well, what's going on? If their house doesn't sell right away and it is sitting on there for a month, sellers are more willing to, be more negotiable on price. And if it's not priced, if sellers are buyers on top of this grant that they're getting, they can also kind of put it into the deal where they're asking sellers for a little bit of that money. So potentially they could come to the table with only really having to pay for maybe just their appraisal and just their home inspection. I've seen that happen lots of times in this market because, the interest rates have scared away buyers, but I just kind of want to put the word out there that the interest rates have gone down and they have a unique opportunity to kind of double dip on getting a grant and getting the sellers to cover some costs.
Okay, great. So one thing buyers do have on their side is less competition right now, and that can all play into how much a buyer pays for a home.
Yeah, because, if the house is on the market 30 days, then the seller might be more willing to put down on that price or give closing costs like we talked about before.
Yeah. Buyers can ask for concessions, repairs, appraisal might come in low. There's a lot of ways buyers can double dip.
Definitely. And I think that has to do with having an agent that really knows how to write a contract and knows how to also protect the buyer in this situation.
Yeah. So we've gone over buyers and sellers. Next, we'll move on to factors favoring justice.
Right.
All right, sellers, don't worry, we haven't forgotten about you guys. So, Danae, what in this market is favorable for sellers?
So I know we were talking earlier about low inventory and about how that is a positive towards the buyers, but I will say that it's also a positive for the sellers. So when we are placing houses on the market nowadays, people are shocked at how much equity they have retained since even 2020. I mean, a lot of people have even doubled. So I think for one, having that cushion and having that ability to really decide where you're going to go next, and to pick the right agent, pick the right strategy, and pick the right advertising. So depending on who you choose with an agent, a smart agent would, of course, do the research as far as what is the proper price. So I know a lot of people say they want to be competitive. I'm a strong advocate for being compelling. So you want to be at the right price. You want them to, once they click on the photos and start looking at the videos and stuff, they're going, wow, I have to see this house. Where, they're looking at all the other houses that are average that they're all competing with. We really strive to be compelling. So I think that for sellers, it is all about strategy, because with the low inventory, it gives you a very unique opportunity to stand out when there's only 10 houses in that neighborhood, all priced around the same or a little higher. You can have that opportunity to give that wow moment.
I completely agree. A lot of sellers are sitting on a gold mine and don't even know it. And with that being brought up, timing is another good thing to remember. We see certain trends. Overall, Richmond does have a good market, but we do see certain trends in the fall, winter versus the summer and spring.
I agree. So I wanted to point this out that a few of the counties have actually changed where they used to end, or they used to start school in September. Now they're starting in August. So we used to have this huge spring market starting in May. Well, now the spring market is really backing up to starting in March, sometimes even in early or mid-February, because with the school changes means that's when people get to have time off. That's when people get to really decide on what county they're going to be in, where they're sending their children to school, all that kind of stuff. So I just wanted to point that out, that the market. All right, y'all. So that about wraps it up for our episode about buyer for seller, who has the upper hand. I am Danae Dobler, and my Instagram is Danae the Realtor. If you want to follow me on Facebook, I'm Danae Dobler Realtor.
Yes. And thank you guys. And if you ever have any questions or need help with anything, we're here to help you at the Lemus Group. And you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok if you look up Kaitlin Price.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you guys. Bye.